Let's talk about step 3, the first phone call. And we're going to show you a YouTube video right now of how to make the first phone call. So we're going to make a phone call to Woodrow Wilson at 1930. You'll see when you come into Google Calendar, when you log in, this red line, which is the means it's 9:40 a.m., will be closer to the 9:30. That's just, I can't obviously affect that because that's the real time and that's the website. So now I click on the event, edit event. As a side note, remember you should have open Google Calendar also again, and you want to have open your patient profiles, which has the patient in there. You should know by now how to get to the patient profiles, but just as a quick review, if we go to Drive, Office Files, Patient Profiles Form, Patient Profiles for Google Backup. I'm going to close this out because we don't need multiple copies. All right. So, Woodrow Wilson, here's his phone number. This is just saying, just to recall the date and the time. It's going to take us about 20 minutes to do this. Jason V created this event on the 6th of January, 1/6 at 8:48 from 8:48 to 9:01. The last thing that happened was that he ended up just making this phone log event. Job code 4. You'll see how that plays on later on. He had no comments about the phone interaction. The amount of money the patient has to bring for the next appointment is 0. Our goals are to do, well, obviously since we're calling him the first time, we're going to complete the first phone call, which means we have to read the 10 commandments. A lot of these patients we got their name from our marketing manager, and now we just have to tell them this is a student clinic. We have to give them all the details, directions, the prices, and things of that nature. That's completing the first phone call. We're going to try and set up an appointment. In this case, we're going to try and set up an appointment with him. If today's the 6th, we're going to try and set up an appointment with him on the 12th, for instance. And if we're going to call him on the 12th, well, we're going to definitely want to call him the night before on the 11th. And 1, 2, 3, we're probably going to call him on the 9th also, 3 days before, just to make sure everything's in order. So we're going to have to make a phone call. We're going to create an appointment. We're going to make another phone log event, meaning we're going to schedule another phone call. And we're going to update the phone log event description. So that means after we're done making the phone call, we're going to have to type in here the words update. I'm going to put our name, Jason V, date and time, etc. And we're going to put other information to let us know that someone saw this description and someone did their homework and did what they had to do here. Okay, so let's get started. Woodrow Wilson. And if you can't find his name, you type in the word Control F, Control F, and I'm going to use Alt Tab. You know I'm a big fan of Alt Tab to get back and forth. Type in, Control F, Woodrow, and there it is. There's Woodrow. Sometimes there's going to be lots and lots of names here, so you're going to have to use a Control F. We have his phone number. We have his rank. The next event is supposed to be at 1/6 at 1930. So let's pretend we're very close, and we're going to get started. My name is Jason V, so I'm going to type in Jason V. You're going to find that most of the columns are going to be already filled out from the previous event, which is what happened here. Let's highlight the column. I'm going to make it dark blue again. Remember, we hit Control plus semicolon. Control plus semicolon. You're going to be using that a lot. Control plus semicolon. This is a different one. And this current time, we're going to pretend it's 1931. So we're calling the patient around 1931. Backup. Control C to copy this. File. Emails attachment. Control, not Control V there. Control Jason V, Jason Dental. I hit Tab just to get back and forth really fast. Alt Tab right now. To get back between these boxes, I hit Tab, 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 or Shift Tab. Shift Tab. Shift Tab. tab, 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 shift tab, control V, tab again, control V, tab, tab, and now you see that this little white thing and hit spacebar send. So while that's sending, by the way, you can go back to your Google Calendar, and we're going to eventually need this entire title. So we click over here, it's called the event title. You see, event title, it popped up. Hit Control A, which will select all, and hit Control C to copy it. Come back to your patient profiles, and look, zone, recall last event. Well, he never came to clinic, so there's no clinical activity, but we did make a phone log event. So the current phone log event that we're dealing with is a Control V. We just have it. That's the phone title. This title has all the information that we need in order to figure out what's going on or what our objectives are. It has tons of good information that we need to know. So let's keep scrolling down. We're going to try and register 45 minutes. That's our goal. We still have 0 appointments. Punctuality is not an issue. Our current goals. So this is very important. Go back to Google Calendar. Current goals. Update the phone log event description. Create a phone log. Create an appointment book event. Complete the first phone call. And I made it a little simpler for you. It's a 2, 4, 5, 7. So if you don't want to think too much, you can go, this is 2. This is 4. This is 5. This is 7. And press down. All right. So you can continue. Now it's extremely important that we remember our 10 commandments, which is over here, just a refresher. And keep in mind, one of the first things I tell you is that we're going to be double booking, triple booking, and when there's rainy days, we're going to have more patients. So when we look at the Google Calendar, I'm expecting to see, and you're expecting to see, 3 or 4 patients or even 5 patients in one time slot. Why is that going to happen? Patients will tell you. I will, ani avo machar, ani ba machar. I'm coming tomorrow. And then you call them 3 hours before, and they say, Slicha, ani lo ba. That's the way it goes. Yesh geshem, hayelad sheli choleh, hakelev sheli choleh. It happens. Okay. You have to read the 10 commandments. The patient does not have an appointment already. Statistics, we get to skip this zone. Now we're going to make the phone call. If he answers the phone, that's important because sometimes they don't answer, and we're going to follow a different format for that. All right. So we phone up patient Woodrow. Shalom Woodrow, Shmi Maskira Jason, Ratziti Ladat, Imata Rotze, Tipulei Shinaim, Bebeit Sefer, Bebeit Sefer. Okay, at the school at Universitat Tel Aviv. He says, yes, Ken ani rotze. Mitsuyan. Ani rotze ladat im ata rotze lekabel tipul im ata rotze likvoa tor sham. And he says, yes, I do. And you say, okay, before we get started, לפני שאנחנו מתחילים לדבר על התור, אני רוצה לדבר איתך על כמה דברים. קודם כל, אני רוצה להגיד לך I want to say, מתי הפעם האחרונה שאתה ביקרת אצל רופא שיניים? As you can see, it says type in answers to the light blue box. You're going to type in answers to the blue box below. And the first thing I want to know is, why are you visiting the dentist? When's the last time you visited the dentist? And what treatment did you get? Shalom, Woodrow. למה אתה רוצה לבוא לקבל טיפולי שיניים? And he's going to say, oh, אני רק רוצה בדיקה. And that's 99% of the reason, but they're also going to probably say something like, oh, stima naflali, or so they maybe want some fillings. You can write the word stima kan. Doesn't bother me. Last time did you, Woodrow, יש לי שאלה, מתי ביקרת אצל רופא שיניים לאחרונה? And he's going to say maybe לפני שנתיים. So he's right 2 years ago. What treatment did you receive? איזה טיפול של, איזה טיפול קיבלת אצל רופא שיניים? He's going to say, oh, well, I got a filling. So he got a filling. So this is an interesting patient for me. Now, מה התאריך לילדה שלך, בבקשה, Woodrow Wilson? And you're going to say, oh, נולדתי בינואר 25, 2930. Okay. Keep in mind, whoever's, I put this in an American style. That's just the way it's built, so please try and get used to it. It's uncomfortable for me to switch it to Israeli style. And hometown, Meifo Taba, Eifo Tagar, and he's going to say, for instance, Haifa. That's important information because if he's coming really far away, maybe we need to call him not 3 hours before, but maybe 4 hours before he arrives. Because obviously you don't call him, you want to call him before he heads out the door and see that he's on his way or see what's going on. So now you're going to say, Woodrow, אני רוצה לתת לך הוראות איך להגיע לאוניברסיטה. אתה צריך להגיע לאוניברסיטה